Great that you got to hear a little bit of it.
We did.
Perfect date.
Thanks so much for being here. Thank you for joining us. This is the first Educational Leadership Consortium of the school year. So we're going to continue with these quarter-style consortium meetings. A couple of you arrived panicked. Oh my gosh, we're late because we had already started. But we will have a meeting prior to the consortium meetings with just district superintendents before, and then share out information during this consortium. So welcome to a new school year. I hope you had a great summer. You had a little bit of time for fun, maybe a vacation, spending time with family. Hopefully you got to do that. And welcome back. I want to personally thank all of you for joining and being supportive and working collaboratively in this consortium. You're all educational leaders, stakeholders. We care about our schools and our teachers and our kids. So that's the purpose of these meetings. It's a place where we all get to come together, network, share our resources, share best practices, and so thank you for participating in this. You're all amazing. And our office is always looking for new ideas, creative ways to improve our services, because that's what we are, an educational service agency, and we're here for teachers, kids, and schools just like you, okay? So thank you. You have some index cards on your tables and pencils. If you would leave us a suggestion, think of a great idea, leave it for us on the tables because, like I said, we're always looking for ways to grow. We've got one change in our agenda. If you look to the presentations, our community development presentation is going to switch places with our finance presentation. Just FYI, so we can accommodate people's schedules, okay? Right. We've got a lot of great information for you today. We're going to have a presentation from Mariposa Community Health Center. Dr. Condro has a dental update, and then Dr. Paul is here with us for the first time to talk about medical educational pathways. And then we've got the folks from the county here to talk about the expenditure cap limit initiative that will be on our ballot in November, and then also a presentation from the community development folks. And then we've got new people to our county here today, and that is Wheel Fun. So thank you, Evan, to you and your group for presenting to us today. We've added some updates to our agenda. Usually we have Terry from the Trust. You've been so loyal, Terry. You're always here. And then we always have as well Superintendent Verdugo from Santa Cruz Valley with the ASA update. He won't be with us today, but we'll be continuing with that. We're going to add an update from Education Forward from Melinda Gomez. She'll now join our agenda. And then first things first. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Lots of good information today. And then, of course, lunch at 12, okay? If you need a restroom, right up the stairs, down the hall to the left, or there's also restrooms downstairs. Okay, you ready? All right, we're going to have a couple of really quick office updates from Teacher of the Year, good information coming up about the county fair, and then a quick announcement about Red Ribbon Week. So, Monica, where's Monica? There you are.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Monica, and I work here at the superintendent's office. I was a coordinator for Teacher of the Year, first year. Thank you, everybody, for being I just want to thank the community because the event is 100% community effort. So I want to thank everybody, sponsors, local businesses, community members that donated. Thank you very much. Thank you for making the event successful. Thank you NUSD for letting us your space. And I also provided some programs. If you just want to take a look and read a little bit about our nominees. Our winner was NHS Mr. Robbie Fett, and running up Mr. Ken Gonzalez from Cruz High School. So I just wanted to take a little bit of time to say thank you. Thanks for making the event possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. You did an amazing job. This year, we're trying to hit the ground running with the county fair and the art exhibit. It always comes up so quick during the school year in September. It doesn't give a lot of teachers time to prepare exhibits and projects and everything, so we're trying to get out information early. Adrian is our fair coordinator.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Adrian Llanes, and I'm the administrative assistant for Mrs. Donnelly's office here. This year, I will be the new coordinator for the county fair. You all have a little flyer here with my information as well here for Kids Day and the initial dates for the county fair. I have been reaching out to some of your schools and asking if you all have a county coordinator or who I can direct any emails to. If I haven't gotten to your school or if you have information for me, please talk to me after the meeting. But I will be contacting all of your schools again with emails regarding any information on deadlines, criteria of how they can do their entries, when we will be delivering entry forms as well, and when will we be picking up or taking artwork to the Sonoita Fairgrounds. But I should have started with the dates. September 18th through the 20th is the Sonoita Fair. Kids Day would be September 18th. We will also be reaching out to any community members for Judging Day, which will be taking place on the 17th. You will be receiving if anybody is interested. You can also let us know, but we will be contacting you all through one phone call. So bless you. But we are very excited for this year, and also the theme is America 250 this year for any art countries and everything for that. So my information is down here on the flyer. If you have any questions or anything, please contact me. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. And our office will be providing a bus for every elementary school and every middle school across the county. So we'll be in touch with you. Already have spoken to Mr. Chiquete in Santa Cruz Valley to reserve some buses, and then we'll work with all the NUSD and East County schools on some transportation to the fair if needed, okay? Even though it's a Friday. Some schools are not in session on a Friday. Okay, awesome. On to Red Ribbon Week.
So, Red Ribbon Week is October 26th through the 30th this year. The theme is Be a Hero, Live Drug Free. So they have superheroes all over the place. And the luncheon, the big luncheon that is at the Boys and Girls Club is tentatively scheduled for October 29th. So be on the lookout for emails. The sheriff's office is in charge, but we help and we support them, and we'll be providing the little bracelets for the kids this year. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Terry. Okay, thank you, Terry, for reminding me we should have done some introductions. We got going really fast. So worried about our schedule. Okay, so we're going to go around and introduce ourselves real quick. Starting with you, Marcella. Introduction.
Hi, I'm Marcela Parra. I'm the Director of the Adult ISIQ Program for Santa Cruz County Continuing Ed.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Seda Bustamante. I am with Arizona at Work, the local workforce executive director.
Hi everyone, good morning. I'm Melissa Lunderbilly, Assistant Superintendent for Santa Cruz Valley Unified.
Good morning, everyone. Francisco Lee, I'm the Regional Area Director for our Southeast area First Things First.
Melinda Gomez, Education Forward, Arizona, and the Southern Arizona Community Impact Manager.
Good morning, Shannon Hall, Communications Director and Public Relations for Santa Cruz County.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Paloma Barraza. I'm the literacy facilitator with Maya Donnelly's office.
Good morning, I'm Terry Reyna, and I'm with the Trust.
Morning, Dan Erickson, Superintendent in Sonoyta.
Terry Sprague, Grants Manager for Mrs. Donnelly's office.
Once again, Adrian Diaz, Administrative Assistant for Mrs. Donnelly's office.
Awesome. Okay, this is,
Jesus Valdez, County Manager and County Engineer.
Morning, everyone. Brent Lucero with the Santa Cruz County Provisional Community College.
Good morning, everyone. Evan Julio with the Wheel Fund.
Everyone, Julio Perez, Regional Manager for Wheel Fund for Southern Arizona.
I'm Jennifer Costa-Matarese, and I'm the Development Director for Wheel Fund. Mary Darling with Save Our Schools.
Larry Frederick, volunteer with Save Our Schools.
I'm Ed Hall, I'm a guest speaker, and I'll tell you more about myself in a minute.
Eladio Pereira, Chief Medical Officer, Medical.
I'm Julia Chacon for Cultural Arts Committee.
Good morning, Sandra Morano with South Veracruz Hermosa.
Good morning, Maria Martinez, Assistant Finance Director with Santa Cruz County.
Good morning, I'm Jason Condra, I'm the Dental Director at Mariposa CAC.
Rudy Morena, Santa Cruz County Board of Supervisors.
And over to you, Rachel.
Oh, sorry, I was looking backward. Angel Canto, Nogales Unified School District Superintendent. Good morning to you all.
Good morning, Aisa Bonias, Assistant Superintendent, Nogales Unified.
Good morning, Kathy Romero, Superintendent, Little Red School.
Good morning, Kaman Sabay from Boys and Girls Club, Santa Cruz County.
Kenny Hayes, Superintendent, Patagonia School Districts.
Luis Carlos Davis, Santa Cruz County Supervisor, District 1.
Hi, I'm Janet Arrieta, and I head the Education Department at the Santa Cruz County Jail.
Colin Bishop, Community Development Director for Santa Cruz County.
Hi everyone, I'm Yanni Vidali, and I'm the Office Assistant in the Community Development Department at Santa Cruz County.
Good morning, Jennifer Argos, University of Arizona Cooperative Extension Family Resource Center.
Okay, awesome. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Fanning.
Morning, John Fanning, District 3 Supervisor.
Okay. And who are you, manning IT over there? Oh, I'm sorry.
Carrie Munoz, Chief Deputy for the Superintendent's Office.
Okay, and behind the camera?
Edgardo Muñoz from Green Lab Nogales.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Okay, let's get started with our first presentation in the Mariposa Community Health Center.
Yeah, so I want to present Jason Congress, the Chief Dental Officer, doing a great job at creating an outstanding dentistry department. We have some new things we want to announce, including a mobile dental unit. So I'll let Dr. Congress speak. Good morning, everybody. I'll reintroduce myself. I'm Dr. Condro, the Dental Director at Mariposa Community Health Center. And I'll talk today about our mobile dental unit. So this has been, in the works for a few years. But let me introduce my team first. If you go to the next slide. So our team, we have Sylvia Montijo, who's one of our clinic supervisors. She also has her CDL license and is our driver for the bus. And she helps to coordinate with these schools. And then Ms. Cynthia Padilla, our registered dental hygienist, who's our main provider for the mobile unit. We have two clinic locations, one in Nogales, one in Rio Rico, and now we're adding the mobile unit, which is on the next slide. So that's what it looks like. You can go to the next and show some interior. So yeah, it has two operatories, one in the front, one in the back, and they're both fully equipped for general dental procedures. We have a main central area for there's check-in space as well as full sterilization component. We also have the ability to take x-rays on our unit. That's pretty much the general layout. So this slide is, I'm not going to go through individual statistics here, but the key takeaway, this is kind of our why. So, dental disease remains as one of the most prevalent disease among our population in general, but certainly among our youth and school-age children. And it can have a profound impact on education as well, and can be disruptive for treating dental disease. With our dental diseases, cavities, gum issues, that sort of thing, it is preventable. So the main focus for our mobile unit is on prevention. So our dental offices, these are the range of procedures that we do, but for our mobile unit, we're going to be focusing on prevention as the most cost-effective approach. These are the services that we're going to be providing. So dental screening, clinical direct screening, patient education, so one-on-one with the students for going over brushing techniques, flossing as well, and the importance of that. And that alone can create a lifetime of good prevention practices. So education, prophylaxis, which is another term for cleanings, fluoride varnish application, sealants, so the picture on the left here is a fluoride varnish application. It's just a paste that we brush on, and it helps to strengthen teeth and make them more resistant to getting cavities. On the right hand side is what are called dental sealants, and it's basically a filling type of material that blocks the grooves of molars. And we generally put these on erupting adult molars. It prevents bacteria, sugars, and acids from leading to cavities. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. So this is just a slide showing the ADA's recommendation for fluoride varnish application every 6 months, generally for high-risk population. Next slide. And this slide is showing the efficacy for the dental sealant. So it can reduce the incidence of caries or cavities by up to 76% if we're able to apply them to newly erupted molars. So that's our general mission. This is our overview, and we're going to be coming to the school very soon. Any questions? Thank you.
So thank you everyone. I want to thank Maya for giving us 4 hours. I think we need to do more to encourage our students to go into medicine. I think you know that. The opportunities in our state are expanding. Some of you know that we are partnering with Creighton to create a family medicine residency in Arkansas starting next year. But I think that's just the beginning. I've had the pleasure working with Ed for the last long time, but more so the last few years to really strengthen medical education in our state. Ed has been just awesome in terms of creating a vision for our state. He's going to present the data, but I think today's purpose is to enhance the fact that we should be telling our students to go into medicine. It's a great profession. We can help a lot of people. And those students who leave to go to college will come back to work in our county. And that's one of the reasons we're creating the residents. The data shows that somewhere between 50–60% of the residents stay where they train. So if we're able to train them at Mariposa, they'll stay. We have a difficult time, just like teachers, to recruit doctors to stay with us. And so we have sort of a long-term vision that we want to fulfill. And Dr. Paul will talk about the data. It's pretty strong right now. Next year we'll have, very soon, about 1,000 medical students graduating in our state. I don't know if we have enough residency slots, but at least we'll have 2 starting next year. But we need your help. And so we hope that we can partner to talk about medicine, encourage our children. There's a lot of opportunity on tuition assistance. One of the major issues with medical education is the expense. But I think there's progress in tuition assistance. Some of the schools are offering free tuition as well. So there's a lot to talk about. I'm going to let Ed expand on that. There's a bunch of slides to go over. He's a great speaker, and I will welcome him. He's Director of Graduate Medical Research Implementation of the Arizona Area Health Education Center Consortium. And he's also a teacher to the residency program at Cruz. Did I get that right? It's good.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you, Eladio, for creating this opportunity to talk with you for a few minutes. I'm a family physician, a lot of years since training, currently working with the Arizona AHEC program, which is Area Health Education Center, if any of you are familiar with that. And the whole concept of that is taking students, especially from urban areas, exposing them to rural health professions experiences around the state. Just spending a month or two in a place like Nogales or Green Valley, some students will be inspired by that and will return there to practice, whether it's a nurse or a physician, whatever the health profession would be. So that's AHEC. And recently I have been working with AHEC to look at rural Arizona opportunities to create training programs, new training programs, primarily because of the need for rural primary care. I'm a family physician, so primary care is my domain. And we know that many rural communities struggle to have enough primary care physicians, also subspecialty physicians. It's not just primary care. And so what do we do to attract students not only into primary care, but to rural communities in Arizona? Big states around the country have the same issue. It's a rural healthcare crisis is what we call it in primary care. So that's been my domain and what I'm trying to help with. I'll give you a little bit of information. I'm trying to go fast. I know your agenda is.
Oh, that's for the recording. I'll do your slides.
That's great. So, yeah, we're ranked 42 out of 50 states for primary care physicians, which is pretty low. That's on the low end of the scale, on the high end of the scale. And the numbers are kind of staggering. 660 or so primary care physicians short, and we need many more by 2030. We're not going to ever get there, but making small steps in communities to start training programs, such as at Mariposa, I know will build over the course of time and will become a hub for medical education. So we're fastest growing state in the country, but we're not keeping up in terms of training physicians. Next slide, if you will. And in rural communities, the numbers are much worse. Rural on this slide is, where's our guide? Small communities, and you have, it's here. Arizona urban, large, small, isolated towns. So total physicians versus primary care physicians, the need is great, and the data is kind of overwhelming when you look at it to try and catch up with the rest of the country. Next slide. Nationally, again, as a state, we aren't doing well, not only, especially with medical students. We have, as a lot of you mentioned, we have a lot of medical students coming out of schools in Arizona. There are 2 new schools opening this year in 2027, rather. Up in Phoenix, Valleycom is a new osteopathic school, and then ASU is developing a new medical school. So we have plenty of students coming out, but many of them can go to other states or other opportunities to do residency training. The sequence, I think the next slide might get at this. 1,000 students, those are the med schools present and anticipated. Those numbers will vary a little bit from year to year. So the pathway, to remind you, is those students go through usual high school, then they enter undergraduate medical education, typically for 4 years, and then apply to medical school, which is typically 4 years. But now some schools are developing 3-year programs to expedite the process. And then after residency, or after medical school rather, a student selects a specialty to train in and do residency training, then anywhere from 3 to 7 years of training. Family medicine, general internal medicine are 3, pediatrics is 3 or 4, it's 3. And to students, especially in middle school and high school, to just envision that and put themselves in that position is often overwhelming. I've been to presentations around the state. Most recently with Gila River, we had 50 kids from their high schools come together. And just in the eyes of the kids, you know, who tend to be kind of withdrawn and they don't see themselves as even potentially following this kind of a pathway. And so how do we inspire those kids to think about themselves in whatever health profession, not just medicine, to really think that they're candidates, whether they have family members or not, in those professions. And so we think that's really important stuff, and that we haven't, as a general, as a country, really have not spent nearly enough time with middle school or high school kids inspiring them to go into health professions. I don't know what your school districts are doing, probably a lot of great stuff. I know I read about a student from Nogales High School, Ivan, I don't remember his last name, who's at U of A in Tucson, in the accelerated track in medical school. So what inspired that kiddo to go into medicine? I don't know his story. But I feel like not only in this community, but in most communities, there's a lot more we can do to get kids interested in health careers. So recruitment in primary care is one of the issues for small communities to recruit primary care physicians. It's hard, it's difficult. What do spouses do when someone's recruited to Green Valley to work at United Healthcare? You know, what opportunities are there? What about their kids? All those kind of issues come up for any career. So grow your own mentality is really what we're talking about, and I'm hopefully invested in that through our program at AHEC to try and enhance the flow of kids through the pipeline into health professions. And we've seen communities do this very well. Other communities are kind of at the starting stage, and then the question becomes, if we're going to meet with a middle school kiddo or a class of middle school kids, what do we talk about? Do we put a cast on their arms that can inspire them to go into medicine? Do we talk about, you know, day in the life of a physician in practice and who's behind every door in the clinic is the challenge, or hospital care, intensive care, you know, all of that comes up. But I don't know the answer to that, but I know we need to do more to expose kids to this. Next slide. So there are a lot of ideas about this. There's not much standardization as I have looked at the literature on what communities are doing and what creates the best outcomes to try and inspire kids. But everywhere from middle school up through 12th grade, you know, different levels of understanding of the pathway and how kids might fit into that. I think that's definitely worth paying attention to. Shadowing, et cetera, et cetera. And in the case of Mariposa, next slide, this is just thrilling for me to watch the process of Dr. Ferreira and his team developing a training program here in Nogales, starting with 2 residents per year. Dr. Sembrun is our program director here. I know residents will thrive in the setting and in that clinic operation. And I know, I'll put a lot of money on it, that most of them will stay in this community when they graduate. Because data from not only Arizona, but across the country, and as a lot of you said, when people train in communities like this, they tend, at least half of them tend to stay. So if we're graduating eventually 4 residents per year, and 2 of them stay every year in Nogales to practice, that's pretty big. And that's pretty big for most small communities like this. So this is starting out, this residency program, and again, I don't know if you all know Mariposa as a community health center, but I've been going down there for 20 or 30 years to do visits, and it's always an inspiration to me what goes on there, the people there, the level of care they provide, the comprehensive care they provide, and it's perfect setup. So what are some next steps for your community? I don't know the answer to that. but I know that it's worth working on and paying attention to. And I also know there's a lot of help from people like me and others I work with from around the state to, you don't have to start from scratch if you need new ideas to develop new programs. The medical schools in Phoenix, U of A, Creighton, have things like summer camps that they inspire kids come to like a week or a couple days at a time or a week at a time. I believe you could do the same thing locally here and bring people to Nogales, to bring local high school and middle school kids here in this community to do the same thing. We have lots of ideas about that, and I do believe there's funding for that from different grants around the state. Next slide. Financial support is actually blossoming. You know, we have medical school free tuition programs springing up in Arizona. U of A just opened a campus at Gila River in Sapatone. Sapatone, or the Gila River, will pay full tuition for 10 medical students to go through that track. Yuma has started the same thing. That hospital will pay for 18 students full tuition to go through their track focused on primary care. And that, I hope, continues and expands, but lots of scholarship opportunities for health professions. Again, it's sometimes too much to digest, but a lot is out there to try to help offset the cost of education. Next slide, I think it's just more of these. We have for people coming out of family event programs, loan repayment programs, National Health Service Corps, et cetera. There are incentives sometimes by private employers. So I think that's it. Next slide. So my main message today is there's a lot of help out there if you want to expand what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. Happy to take any questions, but I think it's great stuff to watch graduate medical education or residency education blossom in this community. And can't tell you how enthused I am about that, so I'll stop there.
Any questions?
Do we have time for questions?
Sure. Any questions?
One or two?
Yeah. No questions. Maybe during.
Okay.
I know that you need to leave.
Talking about providers, we have a pediatrician arriving in Mariposa, Dr. Ronald, very soon. We have 4 new providers in the next few weeks, so more to come on that.
So the ideal setup is we want local kids to get inspired to go into medicine, go into medical school in the state somewhere, come and do residency program training at Mariposa, and then stay in the community. That's really what we're aiming for.
Okay, thank you to those from Mariposa who joined us today. There we go, you snuck in. My name is Susan.
Me?
Yeah.
Good morning. Sorry I was a little bit late. My name is Miguel Lopez, and I'm here representing the Cultural Arts Committee of Nogales. We're an organization, a nonprofit that is dedicated to promoting the culture and arts of Nogales locally. We produce local events, and we also support local students by giving Ime Becas, which is a program that has a natural Mexican consulate for students of Mexican descent that are attending local colleges. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, our next presenter is Colin Bishop. And he comes to us from the county community development. I can advance it for you. I have this, but it wasn't working earlier, so I'm just going to advance it. That's okay with you.
We're good.
I gotcha.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Colin Bishop. I'm the Community Development Director for Santa Cruz County. So under community development is two pillars, building department and planning and zoning. So you're like, I still don't know what that is. So building, most people understand, we do all the permitting. If there's any building outside the city of Nogales or the town of Patagonia, any structure that you see built would come through our department in terms of that review and permitting process and the building inspections and whatnot. On the planning and zoning side, just think of it as all the ways that the land is used. So we're in a courthouse here. You might have a house across the street. the way that the land is used and the way that the buildings are used, those are what we call a land use. And so all of those land uses are governed by zoning laws. So you can imagine there has to be high-level planning, and then that eventually distills down to every single property has a designated land use, and then there's a whole bunch of codes that go with that. So hopefully that makes sense. So what we're going to talk about today is a comprehensive plan, which is what really high level. So this is kind of your visioning plan to say, all right, in Santa Cruz County, here's all the different things we're going to look at that will affect every single one of us as individuals, families, communities, businesses, you name it, governments, educational institutions, you name it. So the plan, we are required statutorily by state law to update the comprehensive plan every 10 years. And as fate would have it, I walked into this job in November 2025, and 2026 is the year that we get to do the comp plan. So it was great to jump right in. So the question is, really, who do we want to decide what Santa Cruz County looks like for the next 10 years? Now, I could sit in my office and my staff and write the plan, and I could probably come up with a pretty good plan, and you might even like it. But that's really, we have felt like that's not the right way to do it. So we've made an effort to get out into the community so that we can help the community imagine where they live, work, and raise their family. So we've done a lot of effort over the summer and early or late spring to do community outreach events and to do surveys to get that feedback from everybody, especially underrepresented groups and voices that we typically don't hear from. So our younger people, we've really tried to reach out to them, and that's part of the reason we work with the superintendent's office, because we wanted to hear from young people that they're going to be living the longest, right? So one of my pitches to them is, you're actually going to be living on the planet. Your time left on the planet is longer than my time left on the planet. So you should be invested in this plan because it's really going to dictate not only the next 10 years, but beyond that. Next slide. So one of the things, and by the way, DNA was an intern with Shannon and I this summer and worked on the comprehensive plan. Our department has since hired her part-time while she's going to the provisional college, and she has been focused on this community outreach, especially with the younger demographic. So VNA and her fellow interns actually put this PowerPoint together as part of their work assignment this summer. So it's kind of focused a little more towards the younger crowd. But it still nonetheless applies to all of us. Before we ever came here, somebody planned your life and your community long before we were here. Like we all know this courthouse has been here a really long time. Before this courthouse was built, somebody had to plan for it. And there's a reason that they built it, and there's a reason they picked this site, and everything that went on with it, the materials they used, all of it. So every road, every neighborhood, every park, every trail, every drop of water, all that is planned long before we get here. Next slide. So what we like to say to everybody is, especially our young folks, our young adults, now it's your turn. So somebody you may never meet is literally making decisions for your future. But how we plan that future is not something that's going to happen by accident, or we don't want it to happen by accident. So we want the ideas and we want the input, and the more input you have and the broader the demographics are, we know that the outcomes will hopefully end up being better, and that's what we're after. Next slide. So, we've already kind of covered this. Next slide. In terms of what we want to focus on, statutorily we have certain boxes we have to check. And these are kind of some of the big ones. that go in a comprehensive plan. It wouldn't surprise you that as you talk to people, water tends to be a very important issue in the state of Arizona and in Santa Cruz County. Affordable or attainable housing is one that we're hearing all the time, especially from young families and young individuals and young professionals. They're like, I can't afford to buy a house. It can affect even people on the opposite end, people that retire and they're downsizing, the senior community, and they can't find a place that fits their kind of new lifestyle new budget. So this is a very real one. Jobs and opportunities, you live this, but we hear this of, how are we going to attract businesses? How are we going to attract enterprise? What types of opportunities will be there? What types of careers are available? So that's a big one. So you might ask, well, how does the community development affect jobs and opportunities? Well, if we affect the types of buildings that can be built and the way the land is used, that literally affects what type of businesses can come here, how they come here, do they even want to come here? Is it even the right type of place? Does it make financial sense? Do all the other boxes check? Infrastructure, utilities, workforce, do all those things align so that you attract the type of things that you want? Transportation, of course, is a big one. Santa Cruz County, no surprise, natural space, open space, nature, outdoors, recreation, very important to the people of the community, so that plays into land use, you can imagine, big time. Next slide. So what the comprehensive plan is, it's a shared roadmap. It's just a high-level planning document that is going to identify goals. So right now we have 8 draft goals. You can see those on our website. And then we have technical advisory committees that will develop the objectives under each of those goals. And then and that's pretty much as far as it's going to go. And then you can imagine that the local county ordinances and codes actually distill that down from more of a strategic planning down to what actually happens at a tactical level. Next slide. So we always like to say that 2036 actually starts today. Just to show of hands, how many of you in here have actually taken a comp plan survey that's been on our website? Awesome, no, that's great, so thank you all. If you haven't taken the survey, you can go to Santa Cruz County az.gov. You can find community development page and you will see the links to the survey. It's both available in English and Spanish. That's right there, or you can try. So there's a quick and easy way. So if you haven't had a chance, or you're sitting around the dinner table with family or friends and say, hey, by the way, I was at this meeting and they're trying to figure out what everybody wants, this is really the time to do that. It's going to be going through the end of this month. So the good news is today we have almost 500 surveys that have been turned in, and almost 200 of those are in Spanish. So we're really proud of that, the effort that we made. If you're on Facebook and social media, you might see an ad pop up from Zen City. And that actually is a second survey that is a validated survey. It's all vetted so that it's statistically significant and validated and meaningful. So we have those two independent things going on at the same time. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do a little exercise with you. If you have your phone on, you're going to turn over to BNA, and she's going to walk you through kind of a live poll little exercise. It's going to be fun that we can do right now. The stage is yours. What's that? She called that. So I told her, man, so everybody's been training, right? Like I told her, I said, just remember when you're up here that Maria in the back has to hear you. So make sure Maria can hear you. So speak up and project your voice. So do you want to explain what we're doing?
Okay, so this exercise is basically to get everybody's opinion. So when the presentation starts, is a slide presentation.
I didn't see one, that's why I was calling you. See, hold on. Maybe because I'm not logged into it. I just got that link.
Well, this exercise.
tell them what we're going to try to do.
Well,
I do have a code on my phone. I could go around the table. You can see it.
but we're going to try to.
Can you send me the code?
I can, yeah. Let me send you a QR code.
Well, what we were going to try to do was have everybody scan this QR code to go on to some questions about the community and about how you guys think that the county can work to include youth and students into county decisions and everything that's going on. Because I think maybe the youth really looks at the county as something more political than something to be a part of. So we were just going to ask some questions about that, but
Is that the same QR code that was in the previous slide, or is it?
no. So the previous one was for the survey, for our county survey.
You're trying to do a Menti.
You're trying to do the Menti one?
Or you're trying
Yeah.
to do a Menti.
She's going to be there. It's coming right.
Can you tell us about yourself?
Yes, VNA, I was gonna
Oh,
say.
yes. Tell them we met in it because Dr. Paul would really like to know.
So I met Carrie a year ago in July.
Mhm.
I did the it was a health careers summer camp with Europe, and that really sparked my interest into wanting to become an RN. So I started school on Monday, this Monday. And I'm doing my prerequisites for nursing and maybe even become a sorry, I'm getting nervous there.
Nurse practitioner.
A nurse practitioner, yes.
You need a doctor.
And well, I did, since I met Carrie through that summer camp, I got really close with Manny, which he helps students with FAFSA. And he mentioned that I should do this summer Leaders in Training internship, which I did, and I worked with Shannon and I worked with Colin. And we basically developed social media videos to help engage the youth into our comprehensive plan and to help us plan out the next 10 years. And Colin offered me a job by the end of the internship, so that's very good. That's really good.
We're very proud of her, all of us. Okay, does everybody have a QR code? Okay. Once everybody has it. I think you can go to the link.
So as you can see, so this is a word cloud, and whatever responses are most commonly answered, that word will get bigger and bigger. So the most popular ones are community, family, culture, weather, people. There's also opportunities, the border, beauty. So this is kind of just to get an understanding of how this works.
Okay, question 2. Go to question 2.
Please wait for the presenter.
As long as everyone can see them on your phone, then it should.
Second is going to be to go to question 2.
No, I'm still in what you learned about science.
I'm just. I did. It's because I'm not the presenter.
I think he gets into that.
Okay, we got. So far.
You got a question, team?
Yes. No, they just question me.
Sorry. The answers are starting to appear. I want you to refresh.
I just have to get out. There you go.
Just keep doing it because they're coming. Can you see something right here? We'll move on to question 3.
What is the best place for the 22?
Can you read it out loud?
So the third question is, what are the best ways for the county to engage with students and make sure that it's darker in county decisions? Can everybody see that? Yes.
You know, I've been around probably it wasn't until I switched to a standing desk that I started feeling better. My back's not tired.
And this all will be collected and used as part of all the different survey outreaches that we're doing. And it's a
So we have at schools, participate in school activities, engage parents first, gain trust. Gain trust from the community again, and then engage students about the future, internships, social media, gain youth council that coordinates with the boards and partners.
All right, last question.
So how could a fund best support students in families?
Finish that second round of treatment, but there's the side effects are not good. So he'll see the doctor in about 2 weeks. His teeth are cracking, and then he has no.
We have recreation scholarships, hold town halls, provide unique opportunities like program. Sounds fun. Having forums inform
didn't take a bed.
Refresher, there's a bunch more that came. There you go.
Develop a soft skills and modalities, funding, support education programs, scholarships, support small business opportunities. So all these answers will be included when making our decisions to develop our comprehensive plan for the next 4 years. And I think that's it.
Does anybody have any questions or comments?
Colin, is this part of the work that Westside was hired to do?
No, that was separate. That was a separate grant.
Was it in?
Yeah.
Part of it though?
You know, so e-work is part of the technical advisory committee. So in Santa Cruz County, there's been a lot of different studies and different things that have been done, and some are very recent. And so the technical advisory committees will have a whole library, a resource library online, and they should be pulling all that as part of their discussion. So,
just a follow-up, so
but there is an economic development piece that is kind of parallel, but, you know, I mean, there's overlap, of course, and we talk to each other, but, you know, that I have, when I'm dealing with this, and economic development's kind of a separate piece.
Okay.
So will it eventually, all of this be included into a larger countywide strategic plan?
That is the comprehensive plan. So just think of the comprehensive plan as a strategic plan. Yeah. But to your point, what a lot of these surveys will help, I think, is for the Board of Supervisors and county management, it will have to help them set the priorities for the next 5 to 10 years.
So the priorities and the outcomes?
Could parts of this feedback be pulled out that's maybe specific to something?
Yes,
Like
100%. Yeah, absolutely. So one of the ways we're parsing data, you can slice the data a lot of different ways, right? So when you look like here in Nogales, we're going to be interested, like what, even though we're not over the city, but just take Rio Rico and Nogales, those answers are probably going to be different than Sonoya Elgin, they're going to be different than Tubac. And so we can segment by geography because our comprehensive plan is already broken into geographic groupings essentially they're called character areas. And so we need to know for each of those character areas what's specific to that area that may be slightly different and doesn't apply necessarily to the whole county, if that makes sense.
Other than on the county website, where else can we gain access to the surveys? That way we can share it with the community and make sure that we have more engagement and participation.
So there's a few ways you can do it. If you literally want us to bring you paper copies, we're more than happy to do that. Otherwise, you go to the county website, and that's the current survey. And then people are probably going to see on social media this other survey. You may be questions about that.
What efforts are we doing other than putting it out on social media to get engagement? Like, are we doing?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Or
Yeah. So we did 4th of July events. We've been out in the community doing tabling events. And one of the big ones is she spent literally almost 2 weeks in the Nogales schools when they did the school registration. And she sat there for 8 days, wasn't it? 7 or 8 days? And we hit the students and the parents. We did both the back to school blitzes, both Rio Rico and Nogales. So we were able, while the people were standing in line waiting to go through, it was a great time to go out there and say, hey, by the way, fill out a survey. When you get around to our table, drop it off. And we were able to collect hundreds of surveys during those back to school blitzes as well. But yeah, if you have, faith-based groups, any community events that you have, we're definitely interested, and we'll show up. So. Anything else? Yeah.
I think we have a large early childhood audience at the Family Resource Center, and I think those are good families to do. So if you want to drop flyers off at the Family Resource Center, or if you're open to it, we can grab the QR code off your website and do social media ourselves to promote it. Like, I don't know if you're comfortable with that. Or...
Yeah, no, we're...
I
understand. She's you gotta look at the public relations.
Oh, yeah. No, that's, yes. I'll talk to you after.
Okay, yeah, I can put you in touch with Stephanie and Brenda.
I try to stay on my lane.
Yeah. Me too. I'm promising things, but you're hoping to know.
Well, thank you all. Appreciate the input. Thanks for
Our next presenter is Evan Fulia and his team from the Leo Fund.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having us, everyone. My name is Evan, and I'm the Executive Director for Will Fund. Today I have my coworkers here with me. This is Emilio and Jen. Emilio is our Southern Regional Director for Arizona. He's also a professional mountain bike coach. So you're going to hear an interesting side of Real Fun from Emilio today. And then you'll also hear from our development director, is Jen. And she makes amazing partnerships with local nonprofits, with her schools, and she connects all the dots. So thank you so much for having us. So what is Real Fun, you might be asking? I'm just curious, out of a show of hands, has anyone heard of Real Fun before? Go ahead and raise your hand. Heck yeah. A couple people here, so perfect, okay. Well, at our core, Real Fun is a youth development organization. You can go to this slide. We're a youth development organization. And so what we love to focus on is the health and well-being of your students. We want to build community for these students within your school systems. And we want to cultivate a love for the outdoors, love for nature, by getting your students off of electronic devices after school time. Okay? Now, I have a goal for this presentation today, and that is for you to understand what could be possible in Santa Cruz County. So when I started with Real Fun, I was just a volunteer at an elementary school coaching with kids. I love working with kids. And through my work with Real Fun, we went from 4 schools in the Verde Valley, I live in Sedona, to 16, and every public school is participating in the program. So it truly has become an ecosystem, is what we call it. The kids go all the way from elementary school, all the way through high school with physical activity and healthy lifestyles. So with this ecosystem, Real Fun supports this with 4 main ecosystems, four main pillars. And so the first of that is the after-school bike club program. And that's what we do the most of. So currently, this fall, we're gonna have 60 after-school programs in the state of Arizona. The second thing that we do is we have camps and field trips. So the camps, we have 6 mountain bike camps throughout the state, and this fall we'll have 60 field trips at each of our schools. So it's just kind of getting these students to have those core memories, adventure-based programming, and exploring the great outdoors. Next, we have our bike parks. So we built 4 bike parks actually on your school campus, and we have a 5th in the development phase in Colorado City. So pretty cool. And then the 4th pillar of what we do is we have a scholarship program. So our scholarship program is called the Logan Hero Dirt Scholarship Award. And so this is for continuing education as you go into college. So this is the Armstrong family. In yellow here is Miles. He's one of my students. And so I get to coach Miles at one of our elementary schools. He's quite the terror, quite the handful. I know you know those types of students, right? And then next we have Lane. And Lane is in our high school, he's in high school, so he's actually graduating from our Real Fun program. Lane is now coaching as a student mentor for our students. Next we have Royce and Whitten. Both of them have gone on to college and received our scholarship awards, so they're moving on to college with some funds in their hands. Pretty cool. All right, slide. So indeed, we are trying to spread across Arizona to give students more opportunities. We have a great widget on our website where you can click on all the different locations to see where we're at, also who the head coach is. We are in 13 of the 15 Arizona counties. So realistically, that is why we're here today, because we do not have a school yet in Santa Cruz County. And so we would love to talk to any principal or superintendent today that is potentially interested in what we do. And we'll get in, Amelia will get into some details of what we actually offer as a program. Okay? We serve over 2,400 students. We have a bunch of volunteer coaches, but we also have the ability to pay our coaches if needed. Okay? So we're looking forward to chatting with you today. This is Emilio, and he's going to get into some of the nuts and bolts about what it looks like at your school.
Sweet. I'm ready for this slide. Yeah. So this is kind of where it begins. Real Fun is very unique in that we provide a true turnkey program. We provide the bikes, the safety equipment, helmets, the hydration packs, the equipment, the local support on the ground to make sure that programs like this not only come to your school, but are sustainable at your school. Because what I want to really emphasize is that we don't just drop off 10 bikes and it's like a good luck and see you later. We're there to walk you through the entire process. So school doesn't have to figure out how to get the bikes, the coaches don't have to become mechanics overnight. Let me worry about that, because what's really important is that we get the kids on the bikes and outside. So the school and and having all of this equipment is important, but there is another missing piece, and that is me. Next one, the regional managers. So I'm kind of like the glue that connects Wheel Fun and the schools together, because things will break. Bikes will break. These bikes are Trek bikes, so we invest in high quality equipment so they last a really long time, and that's really important. So we invest in that. If you become one of our schools, I'm not somebody who you just meet at bike launch. I'm there working with your principal on the ground. I'm working with the coach to answer questions about training, curriculum, recruiting students, and offering them experiences outside of school. So a week at school could be working on some techniques, and once the students start getting comfortable, we'll take them to an actual trailhead so they can put all that stuff to use on a real trailhead. So what I just ask of my schools is that they provide a trusted adult, a local champion, as like we like to say, somebody who has a heart that wants to guide these students, and let me worry about the rest, and we'll work on that together.
So you've heard what we are and what we do. Let's talk a little bit about why it matters so much. You guys see it. Students today are facing increased social anxiety. Lots of isolation happening with our kiddos today. And that has a lot to do with excessive screen time. They're on screens, maybe they're on laptops all day at school. They come home, they're on video games, tablets, smartphones. They're not getting outside and getting active. They're not activating their brains. And there's also fewer after-school activities. I don't know if you all have subscribed to the After School Alliance. I love them. They put out some fantastic newsletters. And today they put one out and it said, parents value after-school programs that build confidence, belonging, communication, and critical thinking skills almost more than specific academic subjects. And schools we're finding are struggling providing those programs, especially with the funding cuts and 21st Century Learning Center grants, which all kind of compacts into there's fewer connections with trusted adults. And we know that trusted adults are the #1 protective factor for our kiddos. Next slide. Why it works? Because it's fun. They get to ride brand new bikes. They get cool helmets. They get to hang out with friends. They gain confidence, connection, belonging. The bike is the tool for us. Belonging is really the outcome for these kiddos. This is probably one of my favorites. I love data, so when you all were showing data slides earlier, it really perked my attention. We run anonymous surveys with our kiddos every fall season, and this is pretty incredible. 90% of them are reporting that they're feeling the growth. They have improved focus, better self-regulation. They're looking forward to it. Kids come up to me all the time and are like, I made an extra effort to come to school during bike club days, And then they're feeling connected to peers because they're getting out, they're starting to meet kids that maybe they don't have class with. Next slide. So my question to you all is, how can we build together in Santa Cruz County? What we're looking for are the right schools. We'd love to identify schools with local champions, safe places to ride, and secure bike storage. We also want to help with your local networks and introduce you into ours. School leaders, health providers, funders. We also work with NICA and the ACA. So when our kiddos are done with our program, if they want an entry point into more competitive racing, we can help them with that. And then just creating pathways to growth. That's okay. You can go back.
Oh, oh, there it is.
Just exploring pathways to growth so that we can support the local staffing, bicycle safety programming, and then expand countywide. So thank you all for taking the time and allowing us to be here. We're really excited about Santa Cruz County.
Does anyone have any questions about our programming that we could answer today?
I just wanted to I don't know that we haven't had the chance to connect with Edgardo behind the camera over there.
Not yet.
But I told you when we met at the county school superintendent's retreat, I mentioned that we have this amazing program in our community already called Cero Estres. And founded and headed by Edgardo Munoz, I don't know if Melissa's still in here, and Melissa Gallegos. And they are right down the street, and I wanted to connect you to, because they do have competitive racing going on already, and camps, and, activities in our community. And so I thought, you could put all of your heads together and come up with a way to maybe find a school that is willing to take on the program, but then grow what we already have going on.
Yeah, it's a beautiful partnership because we get them excited, we get them hooked, and they don't need to buy the bikes because the bikes stay at the schools. They have access to the equipment. So once they're ready to age out and they're looking for something more challenging, programs like yours are like right up our alley.
So is the program exclusively for on campus? So if they wanted to enjoy the bikes outside of school hours, is that something that they would have access to, or?
It varies on the school. We do have some schools that we do allow kids to check the bikes in and out, but the school has to manage that check-in and check-out process.
Okay.
And then we do a lot of things outside of school. So like the bike camps that Evan was talking about, just in southern Arizona, seeing my kids from Pinal County, Eloy, Marana, Huachuca City, Benson, all coming together for a 2 to 3 day weekend bike camp. They see the bigger picture, and it's amazing to see dozens of kids riding from different areas that would never have crossed paths. And then we're doing wheel fun. That's what it is.
Yeah, and just to also summarize, in the counties that we work in, I mean, there are more students than we could possibly serve, right? And that's why we love partnering with other nonprofits so that we can focus here and they can focus on other areas, right? We can't reach everyone, but together we can do more. So that's why we're here today, to see where we could potentially fit in Santa Cruz County.
Maybe you don't remember, but we present together at the Arizona Cycling Summit like 2 years ago in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, I think my coworker Ashley.
Yeah, since I don't remember.
Yeah, that's right. That was like my second day.
So if you stay in a little bit more at the day, please, we will more than welcome you.
Oh, of course.
Sure, excellent, appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I knew that was going to be a good match. Okay, our last presenter of the day is Maria Martinez, coming to us from the Santa Cruz County Finance Department. And she is going to be talking to us today about the expenditure cap limit. And you're joining us.
I'm gonna just give a little small presentation, a little summary of what we're gonna see and introduce Maria. So thank you guys, thank you Maya, thank you everybody for allowing us to present. The county's going for an expenditure limit increase. It's the ability for us to spend the money that we already have and be able to get more into it. It will be on this November's general election. It's going to be Proposition 417. In the presentation today, you'll see Maria will go over the history, what our current limit is, and also what we're requesting, what the increase is, and how it's going to impact you guys. And she'll also touch on why it's important for the expenditure limit to increase. So with that, I'll introduce Maria. She's the Deputy Finance Director, and she's going to present you guys the information for the expenditure. Thank you.
thanking Maya, first of all, for inviting us and allowing us to present to you this tool and let you all know what exactly Proposition 417 is. As Jesus indicated, it will be on the ballot measure on November 3rd, and we like for our voters to be informed. And while I don't have a handout, I highly encourage you to check out our website. We have a page dedicated solely to the expenditure limitation increase, and please feel free to share that with your friends, family, and colleagues. So to get into the annual expenditure limitation, this is a formula that was generated back in 1979. So it's an archaic law dating back to 1979, which makes it a little over 45 years old. Okay, and since then, at the time, what it is a formula that's allows us to, or indicates what the amount should be for us to not go over a limit for the county to spend during a given year. This formula is based on population growth from 1979 to our current year, which in this case will be 2026. It's multiplied by the inflation and by the 1979-1980 base spending. So what the base spending is what was actually approved as the budget for expenditures back in 1980. So they grab that amount, multiply it times the inflation and the population growth, and then that gives us what we're allowed to spend this year. And that changes annually. Two of the factors are provided to us by the state. So at this point, okay, so here, can you go to the next slide? Yes. So at this point, since then, we were pretty comfortable with where our expenditure limitation was, but progressively since 1979 and 1980, that kind of started to decrease for us, and it was, while it was comfortable, we got to a point now where we're seeing the opposite, where you can see in the blue line, that's our expenditure limitation, our estimated expenditure limitation, and how it'll grow within the next 20 years. And the green line is what we anticipate spending. Okay, so then you'll see how that gap increases from 2027 to fiscal year 41. And that gap, then we have to answer to the state, right? And we will be penalized for that over expenditure, if you will. With this, I'd also like to include that we are projecting revenue growth due to an industrial development, which will inevitably also increase income generated through retail sales, construction, lodging, among others. So what the Proposition 417 is basically increasing what we had once in 1979, our base amount, which was 2.3 million. And we're looking to increase it by 1.5 million. Then you can see here with the, if we increase, then it'll put us at 3.8. This base limit will now increase, and it will be multiplied times our population and inflation factors, and give us, or allow the county to spend up to $52 million versus $31.5 million that we're allowed to spend now. I do want to mention, as you see there in big red letters, it's not a tax increase. There are no new taxes imposed. And it adjusts, the spending authority only. So while we're looking at revenue growth and we're looking to increase the expenditure limitation, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to spend the $52 million. It's important to mention that we do have to be fiscally responsible, and this will allow us to spend the revenue that is generated is in the county's coffers.
explain why we're doing 1.5? We can't do it every year, right? It's a lot of effort to.
Yes, a lot goes into increasing the expenditure limitation. So for this reason, we're looking at to do a permanent base adjustment. So with this, because we'll still take into account population growth and the inflation factors, we're still looking at increases every year, but this will, the 1.5 million will give us I want to say enough cushion to carry us through the next 20 years. Okay, so next, yes. Okay, so why is the county discussing this now? Back in 1980, county government counted on a much smaller population. As a matter of fact, at that time, the population was 19,500. We had limited technology, minimal cybersecurity needs, manual election systems, and less demand for infrastructure. And today's county responsibilities. You want me to finish? Okay, thank you for your attention.
Mr. Fanning is telling me it's not matching what I'm showing. But I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead. Continue.
Oh, okay, well, I should have brought my reading glasses. Okay, so today's county responsibilities include modern public safety equipment, cybersecurity and data protection, digital public record systems, election security requirements, emergency management systems, broadband infrastructure, infrastructure maintenance and growth, modern detention and public health standards, and cross-border service demands. Not to mention state and federal mandates that are outside of our control and they are imposed on local government and does not take into account our expenditure limitation.
So the analogy that John Fanning said back in the late 80s, well, most people had beepers. Now everybody has one of these guys. Right? So now the technology demands are more on us. And that was not accounted. And the formula should have worked if you had that population coming into your county. So if you look at the formula itself, it says population, high growth, and then with the inflation factor. Since we don't have much increase in population, that's why we're asking for that. And she'll also go over some of the counties that are also busy.
Okay, so needless to say, the county's responsibilities and service expectations have expanded significantly over the last 45 years. Okay, next slide. Yeah.
Say that.
Next slide. I got you. Okay. Thank you. So, if the expenditure limitation is approved, we're looking at providing additional expenditure authority to optimize existing county services and investments in capital projects that may include, emphasis on may, again, we have to be fiscally responsible with the funds the county is receiving. The state share tax and property taxes and all of that. So we're looking into public safety and emergency preparedness initiatives, road resurfacing and bridge enhancements, water sustainability, again a very important one, preservation, conservation, and efficiency programs, preservation and restoration investments in River, future animal control facilities, tourism initiatives including parks, walking trails, and heritage areas, affordable housing studies and planning efforts, and educational and workforce development programs. So this measure ensures the county's ability to optimize existing services, invest in essential infrastructure, and plan for a strong and sustainable future.
I'm sorry, I can't get rid of that. I can't get rid of that.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
I'll read the bold letters. Everyone knows what it says behind that box. What happens if voters approve or do not approve Proposition 417? So if voters approve, we're looking at a permanent base adjustment. So it wouldn't be the 2.3, it would would be the 2.3 plus the 1.5, which now brings us to 3.8. The county's expenditure base would be updated. Future expenditure limits are calculated using the revised base. Spending remains subject to available revenues, and the annual budget continues to require board approval. If voters do not approve, the formula remains the same. Future expenditure limits continue to grow from the existing base. Revenue growth may outpace expenditure authority, and budget flexibility becomes increasingly constrained over time. So going back to what I mentioned earlier, there is a penalty, and the penalties may include withheld tax revenue and scale penalties where the fines range from dollar for dollar or up to 5 times the amount overspent. So we'll, if it doesn't get approved, then we're looking at potentially facing these penalties. Next slide, please. Take your time.
Mr. Bannon is wrong.
We can blame this for finding it's not your fault here.
Is that showing right?
No.
I'm trying to do
We're almost there. The last line. We can do it here.
I don't know why.
Why don't you just wrap it up and just what to take up, you know, what to remember is not a tax.
Oh, there you go. So this is a summary of the key takeaways. Is a 1.5 million increase is being requested. Long-term capacity would provide capacity for the next 15 to 20 years. It is consistent with other counties. So to put it in perspective, 7 out of 15 counties, Arizona counties, have already approved their expenditure limitation increase. 3 out of 15 are in the process as we speak. And I'd also like to mention that 85 out of the 91 cities within Arizona have also gone after adjustments to their spending limits as well. The oversight and accountability will remain. The board has adopted new safeguards to enhance transparency and accountability. And the county will continue to adopt a balanced budget each year through the public hearing process and board approval. And again, this is not a new tax or an increase of tax rates. It does not, I'm sorry, I said that word. So this measure provides a long-term stability, maintains strong oversight, and allows the county to meet future needs while continuing to adopt balanced budgets each year. So again, this does not automatically increase spending. We do have to be mindful of our cash balances. It allows the county to spend as needed, taking into account the cash that is available for us. Okay, and this only increases our ability to spend, given that the funding is available. Okay. Any questions?
To explain some of I understand the need for the expenditure increase. So the county's anticipating that revenue is just going to increase naturally?
Yes.
So that's going to be asked.
It's twofold. One, we're at the limit now, right, so we need to increase it. And based on projections, you saw that gap. And the other one is that we're, the lines develop, and there's going to be revenues coming from that.
So no increase in tax, is there a potential for a decrease in the tax rate?
Actually.
That's one of the things that we're being discussed. Yeah, you start looking at the levy limit and how centrally assessed property gets, you can see that the rate will go down because there'll be more people paying into it.
So there's been a lot of other counties, a lot of other folks that have done this, right? What sort of challenges, if any, have they had in passing something like this?
Everybody sees it as a tax, right? They think, okay, it's going to the ballot and the county's asking something for us. from us, so they're gonna naturally increase, but that's not, well,
How do we compare to other counties in Arizona? Are we one of the only counties who's looking to up the baseline, or have other counties already done that? Where do we stand in terms of other similar situated counties?
Yeah, that was actually from the last time. 7 out of the 15 counties, Maricopa being the first in 1998, went after an expenditure limit increase. And since then, we've had 7 counties successfully adopt an increase. And currently, we have 3 counties. I believe it's Los Angeles County, Pima, and Yuma are currently going after an expenditure limit increase.
I was actually at Pima County's presentation, and they, I can't remember the last time they did it. Santa Cruz County has never put this before the voters, and one of the things that Santa Cruz County, or Pima County focused on was the technology impact, in particular with public safety. You just look at public safety and the impact it has on the county's budget. Just keeping up with the technology demands is so expensive that they need to do something. Otherwise, if you don't put that infrastructure in place, then general public suffers for.
Thank you, sir. That's very important. Yes, it's true. Technology is definitely one of our biggest challenges.
Mr. Bowden also has a question.
tell me, no, I don't know.
You should already know.
We can hear you, sir.
I think it's a compliment.
Okay, I just want to reiterate some of the things that Maria and Jesus have mentioned. First of all, this whole structure and formula is like you heard, based on the 1979 and 80 law, when things were incredibly different. The other thing I want to mention, I know Maria talked about the counties. 11 out of 15 counties have either gone through this or are going through this. And in the same context, cities, 82 out of 91 cities or towns in the state have gone forward with a similar, it's called home rule. So the fact that this has no impact on constituent wallets, and the fact that we anticipate revenues coming in even more so in the next 2 to 5 years, this is imperative for us to be able to do the things we want to do. And I do want to mention one last thing. The slide that said the eight items that the money may or could be spent on, that's all based on constituent input. We've had quite a bit of input from constituents, and that may change. Those 8, I know public safety, road and resurfacing, water sustainability, and so forth. That may change, and there may be some additions based on constituent input. So I just wanted to kind of reiterate some of the things that Maria and Jesus touched on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Planning. Thank you.
One last question. Okay, so do we know if there's any appetite at the legislature to ever update this?
I think Francisco volunteering to go up and lobby for you.
There has. Right now, Maricopa's, they have a lot of they have some money that they need to spend. They're not actually going for an expenditure. They want relief so they can spend this opioid money. So they can spend that money, it doesn't reflect on their expenditure. It's been talked over and over. You have ATRA and you have the Goldwater Institute that are against it. Right? They're against it. If you're a county and your population's increasing and you're able to capture that, the formula should work. Our population has not increased like other counties, so that's where we need the help. So we want to put it up high enough that we don't have to do this at least for another, Maria said 20, 30 years.
So how big of so how big of an impact has now the Santan Valley incorporating had an effect overall on like county budgets and stuff like that? Because that revenue sharing, like $3 million of revenue sharing walked out of Maricopa County because the Santan Valley. So what's the trickle down? One, the trickle down effect, and 2, this doesn't pass, are we talking increase of utility rates? Are we talking county jobs lost? What's like the economic impact? Kind of boots on the ground, families, what's that?
The state share and TPT, that tax, is strong. There's so many entities that could receive that the love was shared. Ours is minimal. But this is just information. If it doesn't pass, the county's mandated to provide services that are in statute. Whether we have the money or not, we need to provide those. It could be with the skeleton crew. You would actually look, you would look at the department of the offices that are the ones that have more employees, maybe do a reduction in that. But one way or another, we would have to get under that expenditure.
Okay, that's it, okay.
Thanks, Maria.
Okay. Thank you, Maria. Okay, so much information. All right, so we've just got a few updates before lunch. I believe lunch is ready out there. So our first update is going to be from Education Forward, Melinda Gomez. And Melinda is the Community Impact Manager she shared with us, right? Do you have a presentation?
I do.
Okay.
Here's got it.
Did you send it to me?
I did, I sent it, I emailed it to you. So if you could use a second one. Yeah, just, actually, put it in here.
This thing has been hot enough.
Do we have a?
Okay, while they're working on that, how about we hear from the trust and Terry? Terry, do you have some announcements? Okay.
So, I just wanted to talk real quick. Superintendents, you probably saw about 5 emails from me last night. I just wanted to make sure that you're getting those updates from the trust. And if you're not, that we're getting them to the people that, like your principals, your maintenance, all your people that need information regarding mitigation of insurance claims and situations, yeah. So that's what some of those emails were. But one of them was an email just kind of summarizing what the trust is up to right now. Since we've just hit 4 years in existence, they're doing a roadshow. So the roadshow will be bringing all of your program coordinators, like member service coordinator, loss control, model policies. They'll be coming here to Santa Cruz County, hopefully October. Yep, that's what we're planning. So that way, if you have any questions directly for them, they'll be here. Also, we are making sure that we have a lot of resources available to you. So if you're not familiar with the website, you need some support, let me know, and I can definitely help you out there. What else? We have a lot going on. We have a lot going on other than just loss control, but there's human resources services available, there's transportation training available, a lot of training. But if you see something that comes up in that email that you have some questions about, definitely reach out to me and I'll get you in contact with someone from the trust.
Awesome. Thank you,
Okay,
Terry.
thank you.
Thank you, Terry. And Pancho, are you going to present any of these?
I need to plug in my computer too.
Oh, you
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, just real quick. So this is more of a federal update, but I don't know if you've seen, but recently there were some changes that were proposed to Head Start, and those changes would lessen all of the different regulations that Head Starts across the county, across the country have to abide by. So they would take away all those national regulations that they currently have to abide by, and really put it on the states and every individual states and their child care procedures. And so there right now is an open comment period through the Department of Health and Human Services at the federal level, and we are asking for anybody who wants to provide comment on what these changes could mean for Head Start across the country. So here in Santa Cruz County, we have 4 Head Starts. We have 3 here in Nogales and another one in Rio Rico. They serve a couple of hundred children per year. And again, a lot of these changes would make it a lot more difficult for these children to receive services. They would lose out on home patient services that Head Start provides as well. And so between now and October 6th, that open comment period is open. I'll send the link to Maya. Okay. And maybe you can send it out and share it with everyone. And any support you can provide asking the federal government to not implement these changes would be very, very beneficial to all of our families who are served by Head Start.
Okay.
Just a quick follow-up, our organization, Education Forward Arizona, which will be able to sign up for our newsletter, will be sending out an advocacy alert regarding the Head Start issue and things like that as well. So, all right, I'm all set. I'm all set. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I know a lot of you in the room. So my name is Melinda Gomez. I am the Community Impact Manager for Southern Arizona for Education Forward Arizona. Our mission. So we advocate for high quality education and training that aligns with career and workforce opportunities that advance the quality of life in Arizona. We do it in three program areas: voice, policy, and programs. I'm here to kind of that's not my mission, that's my mission. This is my new grandson, Nolan Michael. He was born last Wednesday. He's 1 week old today, so I took my liberty to brag as a grandma. So, many of you might have heard of the Achieve 60 AZ Attainment Goal. That is that's one of our North Stars. We have the goal of we want 60% of our working adults, ages 25 to 64, to have some type of credential post-high school. Right now, our current state level is 50%. Right now, this is our second kind of following up with that North Star, this is how we gauge the metric for that 60%. These are the different metrics that we calculate annually. We work with the Center for the Future of Arizona to track this data from 3rd grade reading, 8th grade math, high school graduation are all coming from the Department of Education. This metric started in 2015 when over 200 community members got together, business leaders, community members as well, got together and started with the Achieve 60 AZ Attainment Goal. The formula that they calculate has not changed since 2015. Something new that we've started, we're doing a series of white papers, 5 of them. So far we've had 2 published right now, talking about education to workforce pipelines and how we, as a state, can make those connections and connect all the dots to get our education to workforce pipeline flowing and making sure that kids and adults are ready to enter the workforce prepared. Kind of switching gears too, we do a lot of, again, voter advocacy. So why the vote matters, right? We're going to be picking a lot of these open seats. We're doing the governor, superintendent of instruction, our legislators, our school boards, right? Some districts are going out for bonds and overrides. I know that the Pima JTED bond will be affecting Santa Cruz County, specifically Nogales and Rio Rico school districts. So, and then also different ballot initiatives that are coming up, and I'm going to be talking about those here in a few minutes. So here are the elected officials that actually have an impact on education and education budget. I know for some of you in the room, this is a little bit redundant. So for those that are not familiar, here it is, and kind of what they do. So bonds and overrides, as I mentioned, the Pima County, the Pima JTED is going out for a $250 million bond. And they're using that for, I pulled it up because there's a lot of facts on that one. So for their satellite campuses, $63.7 million will be going to satellite campuses for programs. They're, from what I understand with reading this, it's also going towards building their new advanced manufacturing facility that's on their main campus.
So we get no.
You get funding, you'll get 63, you would get 63, for what I understand, you get $63.7 million for the satellite campuses. So the ones that are not, the JTED programs that are not on the main campus.
So we have students from here that travel to Tucson.
Yes, and travel to Tucson
So
as
they
well.
participate in some of those.
Right, so, yes. So, yeah, so I encourage you to read that, about that law. This one, there's two propositions that we have come out and going to be opposing. One is the Prop 142, which prohibits preferential treatment. What we are concerned about is that it is prohibiting using race or ethnicity in scholarships. And many of those scholarships are focused on our underserved population. So we want to make sure that the language is that we're not knocking students out of scholarship opportunities. The next one is our Proposition 320. We have come out in the voter pamphlet, which will come out with prior to your ballots. This is talking about the 60% direct instruction. This applies to districts with 7,500 students or more, or in counties with 500,000 people or more. So all the schools in Maricopa, Pima, Canal counties, along with Flagstaff and Union and Union. Why it's a concern right now, the state average is 52%. This especially impacts rural districts. Many positions that support the students are not included as direct instruction. There is a difference in direct instruction and classroom spending. They're leaving it up to the Auditor General to make that determination, that definition. The thing is the Auditor General already has that defined. They already have direct instruction defined. This also, too, removes state funding for non-compliance. So if school districts do not reach that 60%, if this passes and it does not, if the school district does not reach a 60% direct instruction, they will be penalized 25% per year up until they comply. Now they can apply for a waiver, they can apply for up to 2 times within a 10-year period of time. One of the things that I think is important to note too is Arizona has the lowest administrative costs in the country. We are 50th. This is actually a good 50. We are an absolute lowest administrative cost. When we are comparing to Texas and Florida, we are the absolute lowest. And here's a good kind of example of where the spending is. This was provided by a member of the ASBA staff, the Arizona School Board Association. So as you can
see, instruction is at 52%, classroom spending is over 68%. There's a lot of, what we're concerned about is, again, is the wording within this proposition. All right, so what can you do? So you've had candidate forums. You can talk to and ask them their positions. Share this information with your friends and local community members. Volunteer if your schools, which none of the schools in Santa Cruz County are going out for any type of bonds or overrides this year. But in future years, volunteer with your school PACs. And then you can sign up for our advocacy alerts and newsletters to stay informed of what's happening within the state of Arizona. You want to find your elected officials. The Arizona Clean Elections is a great website to go to find your candidates, find propositions, what's going to be on our ballot. And then here is some of the voting dates to keep in mind. October 5th is the last day you can register to vote in the general election. And if you'd like to keep up to date, if you'd like to get our advocacy alerts, some of our education explainers, we'd love for you to snap that QR code and sign up to receive them. You'll also be able to, we'll send out notifications when the third white paper, which should be coming out early September, will be, they'll be publishing that. There's going to be 5 of them. So we've got 2 and the 3 more are coming in September and October. And that's it, that's me. There's my contact information if you'd like for me to do a presentation within your community groups or any civic organization and things like that. There's my contact information. Please reach out to me. I'd love to come down and share the information. Any questions that I can answer? We have 5 minutes till lunch, so. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Wow, sounds like we've got a lot of homework. You should be also getting a pamphlet from, regarding the PIMA JTED information from that override from our office. We'll have pro and con statements for you to go through and just additional information. Okay, that should be coming soon. So, before we break for lunch, is there anybody that has just a general announcement, upcoming event they'd like to share about, new resource, any announcements? No announcements, you had it, huh? You need to get up and move. Okay, please join us for lunch. You are welcome to hang around, take it with you to go. Sorry.
Well, just a quick invitation for this Friday, this coming Friday, the Alfredo Velasquez Art Hall in the Golf Building right here in Morley Avenue. We will call stand-up comedy, so 7 o'clock, so you're more than welcome. So.
All right. Any future comedians? Yes.
So also this Friday, Senator Gallego will be here in town. So if you want to be part of it, there's a link. You can search it. If not, email me. I can send it to you. If you want to be part of the town hall.
Okay, thank you. And Paloma has an announcement?
So in your packets, there is a flyer on the Pase Libro Challenge. Some of you are already familiar, but just to share with you all, the Literacy Bus had the phenomenal fortune of receiving a huge donation from the Mexican consulate of second-hand book donations. All of those books will actually be redistributed into our community, which actually sparked the idea of opening the opportunity for everybody to participate. So we started the Pase Libro Challenge. So if you have any books at home, or if you have any family members that have a collection of books that you need to make room for your new collection, you can bring them to the Literacy Bus. Every single book that is donated to the Literacy Bus will be redistributed into the community. So whether it's at our reading roundups, our community spaces, Some of our partner agencies will also receive some, so the kids will have access to more literature and more diversity in their literature. So it just kind of breaks down what the Pasa el Libro Challenge is. If you're not familiar with social media, I can definitely help with that, or you can just donate the books, but it's a really fun way to get people involved and clear up some shelf space. Thank you.
Thank you, Paloma. And did you have any?
Yeah, just one.
Sure.
And, for any superintendents or principals who'd like to continue the conversation with Will Fund, just toss us a card at lunch and we can work from there. So thank you.
Very good. Thank you all so much for sharing your time today, for sharing your expertise and your knowledge. It's a pleasure to spend the morning with you. Our next meeting will be October 28th. If you have an idea or request for a presentation, or you have information that you think will be beneficial for the group, please let us know. Send me an email and share your suggestions, okay? There are index cards and pencils on your tables. If you have a good idea for the office or for a way for us to improve our services, please leave us a little note. You don't even have to sign it. It's you being honest. Please stay for lunch. We have gadiolas down in the rotunda, drinks, chips, salads, baked potatoes, you name it. It's going to be delicious. Thank you all.